we've had 4 episodes so far. We haven't talked about this one bit. I am dying to know. What have you guys thought from episode 1 to 4? Que pedo?
All right. So the first episode is Captain Carter, right? And this is, we saw like heavy promos for this one. We know the basic story, like what happened. And like instead of Steve becoming the super soldier, she becomes the super soldier. And it tells like an Elseworlds tale of like what the title says, like what if this were to happen. That one was a good episode, but I wasn't like crazy about the show at that point. I thought it was a really well made modern Saturday morning cartoon. I thought it had that kind of vibe going. However, as the show progresses into the next few episodes, it starts to become a little bit more, maybe even adult oriented, like more in the vein of the live action shows that we've already seen, like Loki and whatnot. So the next episode was with T'Challa as Star-Lord, right?
T'Challa, yeah,
Max. Dude, that episode was dope.
Before we go on, all right, before we go on, because you're right. I was thinking the same thing. Like, you're right. Like when I saw, I went into it with like low expectations to none. Like in my mind, I thought like, look, it's Kevin Feige, MCU. It's gonna connect somehow, but I'm thinking loosely, like it's the multiverse, whatever. But I was surprised how much I enjoyed the first episode. Like as a standalone thing, it was entertaining as fuck. Like if you forget how much, like, does it connect? Does it not connect? Like it was fun. Like it was really fun to watch. Yeah, and as you're saying, you're right. There's Saturday morning cartoon to watch. Maybe a little bit more than that. Like, you know, but exactly. It's like it doesn't have to, and that's something I think we forget about like the MCU. Hopefully it doesn't get too big for its own good, right? Because it's like it's not about how it connects, right? It's about good storytelling, which for those of you guys listening right now, hopefully you guys reviewed or listen to our Shang-Chi review, because we go into that because it's about how amazing Shang-Chi as a story was. Who cares about how it's connected to the rest of the universe? But like with this one, it was a really fun, like, oh, what if, like literally, like what if, like Captain Carter was cool. So I liked it. I thought it was fun. Like I liked it from the beginning to end. I was surprised how entertained I was with it.
The whole thing with the Captain Carter one, like it was dope, but I felt like it was essentially still the same story.
You're right.
Person who most people don't think can do it ends up doing it.
You're right. Yo, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, you're right.
It's the weakest of the 4. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Because it gets progressively better, I think.
Damn, we're mad toxic eating that one, though. We're mad toxic.
No. No, they're not toxic. You brought up a great point that I hadn't thought about, Chesky. You're right, because it's the one that changed the least.
Yeah, it was the laziest one.
What did it change? No, that's not lazy. It was still a good story, but it was like
lazy.
It just had a cool character because Captain Carter is just an awesome concept.
Yeah, that's it.
I will say I was surprised pleasantly that Steve Rogers became Iron Man in that episode. That was cool.
Dope.
I was not expecting that. Like that was fucking cool. But you're right. It's like, but other than that, a lot of it is Captain America, the First Avenger. That's the movie, but Captain Carter in the role of Steve Rogers, and that's it. And what's fun about it is about those moments between her and Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's fun. But you're right. It doesn't really shake the fabric, other than, I will say this now. We posted this already on our Legion on Zoom on Instagram and Twitter. So follow us on our social medias at Legion on Zoom. Is that we did see towards the end of the episode that she's battling this fucking tentacle creature from the multiverse, right? And then she ends up sacrificing herself, right? A la Steve Rogers, you know, in a different way, and goes into that other universe. Those tentacles, the moment I saw them, I'm like, they're very Shuma Gorath tentacles, you know? And we know, which is confirmed, that Shuma Gorath is going to be a villain in the Doctor Strange Madness in the ¿cómo se llama? Madness in the Multiverse?
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness.
But then they play coy with the shit because it's like they tickle you with it, right?
And then we made 2 episodes without it.
Nothing. Mad
Tickle you
tasteful.
with tentacles.
Facts,
All
mad
right, so
tentacle tickling.
Chess, what's episode 2 of What If?
All right, so after the titillating tentacle tickling, yeah, I tried. Again, we have a different take on the Star-Lord origin story, where instead of Peter Quill, what are they? I was gonna say Marauders, but what is that? What does the X? Okay.
No, Ravagers.
The Ravagers. The Marauders are from X-Men. Okay, so the Ravagers take T'Challa, who was out playing in a field or some shit, right? Like he was upset or something like that. Like I forgot what it was. And they took him for some reason instead of Peter Quill. And I like this one because this one was very philosophical in a way that at the cost of the country of Wakanda, because what did they say that it was destroyed? But then it wasn't really, right? Like he thought that Wakanda was destroyed.
Well, afterwards, exactly. So once he left and he's like with John Doe, right? John Doe tells him you can't go back.
Yeah, Yandu.
Because fucking Wakanda was destroyed because of the
But it wasn't
human wars.
That's what I'm saying.
Not.
Right.
Yeah, but low key, like for a second, until they revealed that it wasn't, it was like I like that. So it's like because he makes the Ravagers into a force of good. So it's like at the price of Wakanda, the universe as a whole, well, the galaxy becomes a better place. Because he fucking gets Thanos to join him and shit.
Yo!
Like everybody's a good guy because they took T'Challa instead of Peter Quill. You know what I mean? So it's like technically at the price of Wakanda, because I'm assuming it wasn't better off without T'Challa. Maybe fucking Killmonger took over. Who knows? But it's like at the cost of Wakanda, the universe became better. So it's like balance. So which I thought that aspect was pretty dope. And the fact that, and also shout out to Chadwick Boseman, RIP. It was like our last iteration of him as like T'Challa, hearing his voice. That was so dope. But it's like
HD too.
OD. So like he was such a hero that like his soul, like even as a child put somewhere else, he just made that situation better. It was amazing.
I fucking loved it, man. That fucking episode was great. Like, and what you're saying, it showed us that T'Challa would have been a better Star-Lord than fucking Peter Quill, because you're right. He basically made a space Avengers, right? Like they became a whole thing, and even that first fucking scene, right? Because it was funny, right? Because it's really legitimately the inverse, right? When he meets this Kree scavenger or whatever, like bounty hunter. Like in the movie, the original James Gunn movie, like Peter Quill's like, "You've heard of me, Star-Lord?" And they're like, "What?" And this is the opposite. They're like, "Oh my god, you are Star-Lord!" You're like, "Oh my god, that's so Starless fight! Oh my, this is so cool! Can I join?" That it's so. And then the biggest thing is what you said. He fucking made Thanos a guardian of the galaxy by being a Ravager. Like that's insanity, man. Even at the end of the episode when they're like Thanos is still talking about like wait, listen to me though. Like
it's not
genocide. It's not genocide. It's not genocide. Half of the population dies. Like, look, it can work. Listen, like that's wonderful, man. Because it still then brings up Thanos because he tries to save his daughter. Because we get Nebula. That's not like such a cyborg Nebula, but we have Nebula there. So it's like, yo, T'Challa would have made a huge difference in the fucking universe if he would have become Star-Lord rather than Black Panther.
Man, what's up with the Peter Quill hate though?
Yeah, because dude, the giant difference is fucking massive. Like the world becomes like the galaxy becomes a better place. Like in that instance, fuck Peter Quill. He's an asshole.
Do people blame him for the Infinity War shit too? Like they had an expert plan, and then like Peter Quill, whatever, he finds out that that Gamora's dead, and he fucks it up. He fucks up the plan.
So you see what I'm saying? Like there you go. Fucking, it's point proven. Like low key, fuck Peter Quill.
We are. This basically proves that we are watching the shitty universe.
Word.
We're watching the
Fuck.
crappy one.
Like the good universe is the one where they took T'Challa instead of Peter Quill.
Until the next episode.
No,
Yeah,
well, not well. What do you mean next episode? Like, what do you mean?
No, not yet. The next
when things
episode
get
is the
shitty.
Well, the next
Oh,
episode, the next episode is another universe. They're not all the same universe though.
yeah.
I will
remember,
say,
No,
like,
but you said we're watching the shitty universe, but there's shittier universes.
No. I mean the MCU, like the main universe that we're watching, right? Because the movies and the Disney Plus shows are from what we would call the 616, right? Of the
the MCU is like the cinematic 616,
right,
like,
exactly.
compared to the T'Challa one. What we're seeing is kind of crappy.
Exactly that. Exactly. Compared
So you're
to
saying, wait, so which one is worse? The one in episode 3 where the Avengers get picked off by an assassin?
No, that's worse. That's worse.
That's worse. That's a worse
No,
universe.
but I'm saying the 10 years and more that since Iron Man 1 to Shang-Chi, that's a worse universe than episode 2 of What If. where
everyone's happier.
Becomes fucking Star-Lord. I'm
like everybody
assuming.
won. Yeah, for the most part.
But we'll say, which was exciting for the What If a show, it ends on a cliffhanger, right? Because it ends with Ego, played by motherfucking Kurt Russell, again, coming back and finding Peter Quill on Earth, like working on some fucking fast food joint. That's fucking exciting. That's like, what happens next? I'm down, man. Let's check
when he never developed the character to fight off Ego. So it's like,
that's a great point. You're right.
Fuck. Nuance.
I will say one thing I really, really love that, I don't know, like the animation is cool. It's not the best I think I've seen. But something I love, it's how fucking cool it is that they have the actual actors voicing the characters, because we had Chadwick Boseman, rest in power. That's T'Challa. Karen Gillian was Nebula. Fucking Michael Rooker was as Yondu. The same guy who played Korath, the Kree enforcer, was played by Digimon Honsu. We had Josh Brolin as Thanos. And like, he played Cable and Thanos in the movie, and he's willing to do as a voice actor. Like, how? And Kurt Russell, Benicio del Toro was the Collector. That's fucking cool, man. It's weird that Drax was not the same guy, but that's cool.
Like, allow me to kind of shit in your cereal a little bit, because like, even though like it was cool,
please do
because it was cool, even though they had the same actors, bro. It was money during the pandemic. Fuck yeah, they're gonna get the actors back, but they're gonna be like, no, I'm busy. I have too much work going on. Like, I'm not gonna do like, no, Disney, don't pay me when I could just walk in the studio in sweats, talking to a microphone. Like, of course, like, that's mad easy to get those people back for that. But it's dope that they thought to do it. I'll give them that, though. It's dope that they thought to do it. But I'm pretty sure getting them was not hard. Like,
we can't forget the context. You're right. You said the pandemic. It's like, all right, I'm gonna do this. What else am I doing right now?
like, I ain't doing shit. Like, all right, fucking work from home type shit. Like. But overall, fucking, it was. And then we got episode 3, which, honestly, this shit was like, this would have been a fucking dope ass longer animated feature, because this shit was dark. All right, so, and quick side note before we get into this shit, fuck every single iteration of Hank Pym. Hank Pym sucks. Hank Pym always sucks. Hank Pym always finds a way to suck. I don't get it. Miguel, you're like the Marvel aficionado in residence. Is there like a constant perpetual state of Hank Pym sucking?
Yes, there is. And honestly, I think, for those Marvel fans out there, hopefully you feel the same way as I do. For those of you who are not Marvel fans, for me, this was Marvel, the MCU, Kevin Feige's, ¿cómo se dice? Redemption to Hank Pym in a good way. Because honestly, like, look, Hank Pym and Janet fucking Van Dyne are founding members of the Avengers. So it's always kind of irked me a little bit, like, that they're not in the MCU. We have Hope Van Dyne, who's playing, Wasp, and then we have, obviously the Scott Lang version of the Ant-Man played wonderfully by Paul Rudd, right? Which is great.
Yeah, we're.
But as a true purist, I feel like I don't know. I kind of want to see Hank Pym, and they've shown us Hank Pym. They showed us Jenna Van Dyne played by Michelle Pfeiffer in the movies, but not connecting it to the actual books, right? This fucking episode, what if episode 3, I think, gave us the most Hank Pym in the MCU
Word.
than we've gotten, because like in the comic books,
Undiluted Hank Pym
is troubled, man. Yo, he is motherfucking troubled. He's gone through some shit from like when he smacked the Wasp in the Avengers, got him kicked out of the Avengers. He in the Marvel Comics books universe, he has bipolar disorder. That's apparently the diagnosis he's given. He's had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of different identities, from Ant-Man to Jello Jacket to Giant Man. He's been all over the place. The worst thing in the comic books now is that he fused with Ultron.
Fuck.
Which in the comic books, he created Ultron. In the movies, we get that Ultron was created by both Tony Stark and Mark Ruffalo and Bruce Banner. In the comic books, it's just Hank Pym. Hank Pym motherfucking made Ultron, which then lets lead the Vision and all that kind of stuff, But and up to this day, he is still fused with Ultron, okay? Which is like hot messery, right? Like it's a weird,
Jesus Christ,
because you don't know who's controlling who, and I think it depicts the hot mess that Hank Pym is really well, right? Because like it's like daddy, I'm you are me, and it's like weird.
No.
I highly recommend Rick
Word.
Remender's run on the Avengers. What was it? Uncanny Avengers. I think that's the main one that comes out, and there's the Avengers Age of Ultron by Michael Bendis, and there's another one. I don't remember, but the point is, you're right, Ches. Hank Pym has always been a mess.
Why is he not considered a villain? Look at the aggregate.
He wasn't this in this universe.
Yeah, in this universe, but the aggregate of Hank Pym, he's the villain.
I think in the comic books, he's done more good than bad, though. Like he's had these moments where he's really bad, but he's done more good than bad. And in this episode, it was so fucking cool because we don't know, right? We do not fucking know. This is we're watching basically the beginning of all these different movies from the get-go, but each character gets killed. All the Avengers get motherfucking killed.
Murder.
We don't know what's murder, and we don't know what's going on until we find out it's Hank Pym, which is actually still voiced by Michael Douglas in the fucking episode. Fucking stellar ass actor.
And Sam Jackson is Nick Fury.
Yeah. And
no
Loki
ScarJo though.
No, she wasn't with it.
She's probably still mad.
She was preparing the lawsuit when they were doing
and it was like
this.
Black Widow heavy too.
Facts.
Heavy, yeah.
Facts. Dude, she was getting the lawsuit ready when they were doing this shit.
Yo, even we had Brock Rumlow as Frank Grillo again.
Yeah, I peeped that.
Yo, and Clark Gregg as Agent Coulson, man. Like, come on, man.
And they went in. That was awesome, yo. That was lit. But yeah, like, so, and all the ways, dude, that, which is, once again, Hank Pym is like a Tony Stark level genius, Bruce Banner level genius. There's this like epic level of genius motherfuckers in Marvel, and Hank Pym is right up there. But I would say out of all of them, he's the most troubled. He's more troubled than Bruce Banner. He's more troubled than Tony Stark. Cause like, fuck, this dude goes through it. But yo, he finds a way to kill every single Avenger, almost all of the Avengers. And it's crazy. So with Tony Stark, he hides inside of a needle, and then he shoots a projectile into Stark when Black Widow went to sedate him to knock him out. For the Hulk, I think what he hides in a bullet or some shit, and he throws some type of like enlarging disc at the Hulk's organs and like blows the Hulk up.
Yeah, like the pin particles or something like that, right?
But
Yeah.
the most poetic and masterful one was the one that set the story in motion. Was my favorite. When thunder and lightning cracks, he enlarges just enough to make Hawkeye's fingers slip and let the arrow go right into human Thor's chest. Thus, he never picks up the hammer. He never becomes Thor. And fucking, it makes Loki ironically righteous because his brother is dead and he wants vengeance. Like, the fuck out of here. Like, you just see a reason for chaos. And you're probably mad because you didn't kill him. But you know, fucking, you got like an Asgardian battalion with what do you call that shit? A destroyer, I think, the destroyer armor, whatever the fuck the weapon is called, the armor from Thor 1. I think it's the destroyer, some shit like that.
I think it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that shit. Then, of course, you got Nick Fury find some epic way to fucking trick Hank Pym into exposing himself. And I was surprised at how much the animated Hank Pym looked like the movie Hank Pym. That shit was good. And fucking then they lock him up. But it was all because of the fact that Hank Pym's daughter, what's her name? Was it Hope?
Hope? Yeah, Hope.
Yeah,
and
Hope. Hope in that universe died while she was working for Shield or the Avengers. No, for Shield, and he blamed them for it. And like, yo, you felt the pain, and we got locked up. The dope part is though that for some reason, probably because he couldn't find them, Hank Pym didn't get Captain America. So still, you get the Avengers at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Or like say we get a new Avenger. That's what's so fucking cool about What If, right? Even if we don't explore what happens next, I was entertained from beginning to end, right? Because like, and I do have a question for you guys. Like right now, like this whole thing was because Hope Van Dyne was a Shield agent.
Yeah,
I
think so.
That doesn't happen in the regular MCU, does it? Or was she a Shield agent before?
I don't think so. I think she was just a scientist with her dad.
What, in the MCU?
Yeah, in the proper MCU.
Yeah,
because she's played by the lost actress. I forgot her name.
Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah,
Evangeline Lilly.
I think she's just a scientist with her dad.
Yeah, I don't think she's an agent yet. Right.
She ain't becoming a Shield agent, bro. She's gonna become Wasp.
Nah, because I feel like
blame Sam Jackson, like Nick Fury, like because he's the head of Shield, and he seemed to want to kill him.
Because I feel we gotta pay attention to these details. Apparently, from what we're getting at this, like especially because it follows Loki, right? The multiverse is branched, right? And we have the Watcher watching the multiverse, right? And so far, the multiverse is branching from things we know, from things we've seen in the MCU movies, right? From our, 616 from the universe, from the movie universe, right? And everything. Captain Carter is exactly a Captain America, the first Avenger movie, other than she becoming Captain America, right? That's the difference, right? And then the T'Challa is about the same, except that T'Challa becomes fucking Star-Lord rather than Peter Quill. This movie, we get this little different piece, which is like, wait, was Hope a Shield agent? We didn't know that before. From the old Ant-Man movies, we didn't know that. Like, unless they haven't told us that little fact. Because then that means that universe is way more different, because everything else was the same, right? How they recruited Iron Man was the same. How they tried to recruit Thor was the same. How they tried to recruit everybody else was kind of pretty much similar. Because even the biggest thing that we got, right, is that we got Betty Ross for the first time in this new MCU, which sadly was not voiced by Liv Tyler, Aerosmith's fucking singer daughter, that we got in the Edward Norton movie, but we got Liv Tyler though. Like the character Betty Ross. So it's still connecting voice for somebody else. So it's like, wait, how connected is it to the proper MCU? So then makes me wonder, is it super different, or a fucking this Hope actually was a Shield agent, which we haven't heard about yet.
That's a good observation.
Damn, that was mad intricate. I'm gonna go ahead and just call bullshit on that, but props on the fleshing it out though. But
because come on, man, they plan everything.
They plan so well to the point that like it like almost justifies paranoia.
Yeah. What was the earliest hit? Right? So because it starts off at one point, maybe like in the oh no, that doesn't make any sense. I was gonna say like if they could like somehow, but either way it wouldn't make any sense because Hope would have to have been an agent before Tony Stark was approached.
Exactly, right? Because
Yeah.
you're right. No, that's a good point. Because Tony Stark was the first one to get killed. Iron Man 1. No, but Iron Man 2, that's a scene. Iron Man 2,
Yeah,
that's
Iron
a
Man
scene.
2.
And by that point, Hope is killed. That's why Hank Pym wants to kill the Avenger Initiative. So, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So either our universe that we love and watch, which we just enjoyed Shang-Chi, is different in that element from that one, or they're gonna reveal that later in the next Ant-Man Quantumania movie.
Not fucking with you, bro.
Damn. Pepper
We got a
Sylvia.
board.
Oh, facts.
That was good.
Mind you, he has a board just on Jenny Van
Oh.
Dyne. Math. that is the opposite of bang for your buck. Mad specific.
I like how you mentioned, Ches, that things got darker with this episode, and I don't know. I do like the bright episodes. It starts off with 2 bright episodes, and then it gets you 2 dark episodes.
You're right.
Bro. Dark is the place that we got taken into in episode 4 is like the bowels of fucking humanity, because when you look at the details in episode 4, and all that was made was one simple switch. It was straight up in Doctor Strange's origin. What if he lost his wife instead of his hands? Is she his wife, his girlfriend, his betrothed, his beau, whatever? But yeah, like he lost the love of his life, his heart, so to speak, instead of his hands. That shit led to what I think might be one of the most epic stories in the entirety of the MCU.
Woo! That gets us exactly to the latest fucking episode of What If, man. Like, god damn, this episode was so fucking good. The dark. It
felt like a movie.
I gotta hear. I want to hear. What did you guys think? What the fuck did you guys think of all of this? The last episode we got so far.
I think this
is my favorite of the 4.
Oh, dude, I think this was Disney trying their hand at like a DC animated feature. Like that's how fucking wild that shit was, dude. Fucking so, Rod. I mean, like as much as you've seen all the DC animated features, like, and they go pretty dark. How did you feel about this episode, like specifically?
It was my favorite of all of them. I think if I had to rank them, it'd go like from 4, 3, 2, 1, just like that in the order that we've seen them, but inverted.
That's fair. That's pretty good.
And then this one kind of it ties into the first episode a little bit because like one of Miguel's cockamamie theories about Shumagorath. we also get another tentacle creature, which adds like a thin thread of continuity throughout that I didn't see before, other than Uatu the Watcher.
Yeah.
So I like that. As soon as Miguel said that, oh shit, the tentacles reappeared, it might be the same creature peering into the multiverse.
I hadn't even noticed that shit.
Might get fleshed out in the movie. But now it makes Stephen Strange that much more compelling because the premise is extremely epic. With that the Ancient One, right? That's her name, right?
Yeah, the Ancient One.
The Ancient One creates like a divergent stream, almost to show the Sorcerer Supreme what would happen if he were to not keep his humanity, or if he loses hope, or whatever it was. But basically, like the Dark Jedi.
Wasn't it a consequence of what happened in Loki? Was it created by the Ancient One, or
so she creates this divergent time stream, right? Where one of them, or she used she used a rift in time to make this happen, or something like that. She explains it in a very mystical way.
Yeah, because it was bugged out. Because she was like, she split him, or did she split a split? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in that universe,
yeah.
Because like in that universe, his wife died instead of his hands. But when he started getting funky, she split them. So in that fucking pocket of a timeline, there's a split on that timeline. Damn, that's crazy.
Well, no, but they were both existing in the same time, though, right? They just weren't aware of each other, like the Dark Doctor Strange and the
Now wait,
regular Doctor Strange,
but were they in different locations though? Because
right?
I don't know. Because also remember that when he found the Library of Cagliostro, yeah, I said that right. Fuck yeah. So when he found the Library of Cagliostro, according to the librarian, he was absorbing beings for literal centuries. He was literally in the same spot. Okay, so people, all right, so we got a little bit ahead of ourselves like we tend to do. So in this universe, the wife died. He still was on the same journey. Everything you saw from the movie, except when he's in the library and he's on like the forbidden text or whatever. Remember that his wife died, so he's not trying to fix his hands. He's trying to get his girl back. And he finds that there is a way to maybe turn what was it called, like an absolute point in time, but it requires like a biblical level of power, like gargantuan amounts of energy. So naturally, what does he do? He figures out a way to get more power. You have to absorb other creatures. So I guess, you have fucking Agamotto, Cagliostro, all these crazy motherfuckers that Strange are like in his Rolodex or whatever. He finds their library and opens up a portal, and literally from the bottom of the magical food chain all the way up to the likes of Shumagorath, according to Miguel's wild theory, absorbs one of everything. So it's like the inverse of a Noah's Ark.
Yeah,
exactly.
And only fragments of Shumagorath, right?
Yeah, which shows how powerful he is.
And that's the exciting part for my theory, right? Because like it's like we got Shumagorath in the first episode with Captain Carter able to hold his tentacles, because it's like a little tease, right? Like a little tease that like Shumagorath wants to join this universe, and she's like, no, fuck you back. And the same thing with Stephen Strange in this alternate universe where he's trying to get all this power, and which is really interesting, right? It's the first time he confronts Shumagorath, we're calling it.
Yeah.
He loses, right?
He's like, nope.
and it's just these tentacles, right? These tentacles, like, and then he's like, no, he loses, and then he, he's nursed back to health by this. I forgot what the character's name was. And so so what's going on? Where is Shumagorath coming from? Because eventually we do know which is the last one he's able to absorb is Shumagorath, at least his tentacles, right? Because he's able welcoming into this universe and then cuts him out, which cuts the tentacles and then absorbs it into him, right? So which makes you wonder how powerful is Shumagorath and how pissed he is from everything that's happening right now in What If.
And bro, it's crazy because in absorbing all these creatures, of course, one could imagine, as like the fact that he's dealing with magic, his soul, consciousness, all that crazy, like ethereal, surreal shit, he becomes not Doctor Strange. He becomes some wild amalgamation of beings, some like Cthulhu type resembling shit. Like,
Chimera.
But yeah, nah, shit, dude, that'd be an understatement. He becomes some other shit. If anything, at some point along the food chain, he absorbed the Chimera, probably. So in essence, he becomes a demigod or a god with at least a lowercase g. Like, I'm assuming, because like it changes him. It changes like his whole foundation. Like, that shit is wild. And then at that point, he gains enough absolute power to turn back an absolute point in time. So he goes back in time, manages to resurrect his girl as like some type of monster thing that he's become. And he didn't listen to the ancient one. He starts undoing the literal fabric of his universe, which we always hear a warning about all the time in match stories, and this time it actually happened.
No,
Yeah,
and
a flashpoint for him.
exactly. No, and you brought up a good point about like the fucking fighting it off, you know, the power, because we do see in this world, right, that he becomes so powerful that he in a way defeats the Strange from the 616, or the Strange from the MCU universe, like in or some version of him from the past, you know, because he ends up winning, right? Like he ends up, because we get that weird scene, right, which is like, I don't understand with the ancient one dividing them in the moment. It's like, why was that the best choice? Like, why was it the best? Let me split the reality and hope that you can then stop yourself down the road, right?
Bro, that
like,
makes
right.
perfect sense.
Why? Elaborate.
Because maybe like Doctor Strange is really important to the fate of the Marvel universe, like
Apparently he
magic and
is.
shit. Yeah, like he can never be corrupted, like as a Sorcerer Supreme. Like he must be exposed to what would happen if he goes like that way, just so to ensure that he stays true. Like because his existence in the MCU is what's gonna like, you know, keep shit
It's almost
from
kind
going
of
crazy.
it's almost kind of like the way there's absolute points in time. It's like he's an absolute being in the
Yeah,
universe.
he's an absolute.
He has to be a certain way, and fucking like other than that, the only other consequence is absolute destruction. And then that version of Strange became so fucking powerful that even the collapse of the universe couldn't kill him. So somewhere out there in the void, that fucking God Strange is just weeping in sadness, just in that little cube.
Yo, they need to show him in Multiverse of Madness.
OD, they should.
to.
The end. He's the first person to notice Uatu.
Yeah.
Oh!
Like
yo, that scene, man, that moment,
Yeah.
like, because it's all going to shit, right? Like, oh my god, this episode is like, I can't even like how wonderful it is, like, and how dark it is, right? Like, and even at that last moment, because I feel like it's even like it's like it hits differently, because it feels like he's almost reaching out to God, right? Like, and God answers back saying, basically, well, you shouldn't have done this, didn't you, right? Like, you know, like why did you do this? Like, well, this is the consequence of what you did.
Bro, he hit him with the Rorschach. Like, what's the quote from Watchmen? Like, the beings will shout out or some shit, like seeing who will protect them, and will say to them no or some shit like that. Like, that was like that moment. Like, he cried out for help after he saw, and the Watcher. No, mind you, he even said, "I read about you. I've heard of you." So this Strange is like, who knows if our Strange knows about Uatu to get our Strange, but you know what I mean? Like, who knows if like the 616 proper Strange knows about Uatu, or the fucking like the Eternals or the Celestials. This Strange was so epic that he knew about that level of beings.
I like the idea of this Strange existing like in between universes, like Shumagorath. I like that idea. He like just pop out of any reality.
And apparently, like right hot off the press, we got some news rumors right now that apparently that Doctor Strange, which is called in the What If episode, Doctor Strange Supreme, is going to appear in the Multiverse of Madness movie.
Oh, word?
Which makes
it, yeah. Apparently,
nice.
There's a hot fucking rumor out there. Because you're right, Ches. I hadn't thought about it until like with the chat.
He's too powerful.
No, but you're right about his universe ended, and he was captured in that little fucking.
Not captured. He saved
Infinity
himself.
Crisis.
Yeah, because like
Infinite Crisis.
Infinite Crisis. No, yeah. Exactly. Like, because that wasn't even like he got captured. He's so
powerful. He's like the Superboy, right? Of
this.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what happened in the Infinite Crisis.
Damn. Dr. Strange Supreme is your Superboy Prime. Fuck.
Yo, and how did you feel about the resets of trying to figure out the fucking way how to save his fucking love? Just not fucking
I feel you're like another DC parallel because like that can only create savagery. That was the same way they created Doomsday.
Wait.
Like in a way, because it wasn't with time travel, but the way that they created Doomsday is they kept on rebreeding the same being. So they started with a baby. They sent the baby out to a savage environment. It got torn apart. They took some of the genetic makeup. They created another being with that. So it retained the memory of all the deaths in its DNA, and it created like a corrupt thing, something vile from the inside out. So him going through that, like this Strange was evil in every way. There was no light at the end of the tunnel because not only did he fail over and over and experience his wife's death over and over, killing himself each time, in essence, he then spent, once again, literal centuries absorbing and killing beings. Like this dude was more evil than Voldemort.
Oh,
Like this was an absolute evil Strange. He was gone,
dude.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's what, like the one thing that I notice is like we hear this all the time. Like as geeks, as nerds, and all iteration of fiction we read, whether it's books, comics, whatever the fuck. Don't undo the fabric of space time. That phrase has been printed so many times and said it happened. Fuck, like that's crazy.
I love that scene at the end of the episode where like he does it, right? Like, yo, he defeats the good Doctor Strange, right? Absorbs him, and then like supposedly finally saves her, right? Saves the fucking doctor. And then, but he's, because of the power he wielded to do it, he couldn't control his image. And then he's like this amalgam of all the fucking creatures he's absorbed. So he looks like a monster, right? And then that moment with his partner, you know, that sees him like, what the fuck happened? Like, am I dead? What's going on? You're a monster. Like, that was like, mwah, like, oh, pure fucking classic, like tortured goodness, no? But like, you saved her, but you're a monster now, dude. And even if you can control yourself now, you reverted back to your Strange look. It doesn't matter. The universe is ending and she dies anyway. Like, what?
This was the only time that like I've ever seen, like maybe I have in some other way, where they set a story go with the bad guy and they just let the record play. Because it went full circle. Like the bad guy went to the point that everything got destroyed. Few bad guys come to see that to fruition. Like the actual fruits of everything they do. Like few bad guys like ever see it. You know what I mean? They all think that they're gonna win and everything to be fine. It's evident in every single bad guy's plan that if they go through with everything, they're gonna wish they had it. In almost every single iteration, there's few that have that much conviction. You know what I mean? And in this one is like, yo, look, like it went full circle. You destroyed everything. Like, literally, there you go. Yeah. Fuck, dude, it was masterful. This shit might be, that episode might be the best thing that Marvel has done on Disney Plus, point blank. Across all the series, any episode from any series ever. That's it. So yeah, man, I'm fucking loving What If. I wish that there was a way that these shits are so isolated that like, also like it's kind of cool. Like we have no idea what's next. Like there's no stay tuned for next time or to be continued. So we have no idea what the fuck is coming up, which is super exciting. I can't wait. I'm fucking in love with the whole series so far. It's an amazing concept and no fucking duds. So I'm super excited. And on that note, guys, I fucking love you. Fans, stay tuned for future episodes. We're gonna cover shit like Titans because that shit is getting fucking pretty fucking crazy, and we definitely got to discuss that with everybody. So I'm Chuz.
Yo, and I am Miguel. And besides Titans, we gotta get into Stargirl. We have about 4 episodes out there. We're gonna get into it later. But yes, you know, follow us in social media, on Instagram at Legion on Zoom, Twitter, Legion on Zoom. Send us an email on legiononzoom@gmail.com. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you want to hear. And we look forward to it. But peace out.
Yeah. And let us know if you'd like us to review anything that we haven't talked about, or let us know what you thought about these shows as well. All right, I'm Rod. Peace out.
Facts. Later.
Peace.